Arsenal fans the last couple of weeks. It's whereas Manchester City, were saying they found a way to win at Nottingham Forest. They had been free-flowing before that. Arsenal have had own goals come to the party for them. They won their last game with the penalty as well. That was against Everton. It's been a very different feeling to perhaps earlier on in the season.
Yeah, it has, and that's what pressure does to you. But I think, as we just spoke about Manchester City, you find a way of getting it done, and Arsenal are doing that. And whether it be the attackers scoring goals or defences, putting their bodies on the line, they have looked quite nervous when they've gone ahead, but still at the same time they're still finding a way to get the wins, and eventually that kind of free-flowing football will come back. But it's about margins and percentages, and right now Arsenal are using that to their advantage.
What does it tell you that they have so many own goals in the last couple of games?
I know what you're saying, but it don't really tell me a lot, to be fair. It's just one of those things that's really unfortunate. I know what you're saying. They're still putting the balls into good areas, and that's the most important thing, and people are challenging them. So I'd say more about the delivery and a good build-up play as well. But the one thing I'll say is Declan Rice played right back. They got Aston Villa in the week. You don't want Declan Rice at right back, because I think Arsenal misses driving force in the middle. But they have had a lot of injuries, but having Gabriel back coming onto the pitch, huge boost for Arsenal.
Yeah, I think their defensive worries have been well documented, but that man in between the sticks there, and as I mentioned,
my goodness,
is this a goal-saving save from David Raya, perhaps save of the season?
This must be Clinton, I'll let you say.
Oh, this is magnificent. Listen, when I was watching this, Jules, I was like, oh, goal, what a finish from Minter. But look at this. This is unbelievable from David Raya. And come the end of the season, if Arsenal go on and win, you won't forget about this, will it, Benny?
What a save that is. Even Minter looks at it and goes, he thinks he scored. But that is why you've got a top-quality goalkeeper in David Raya. When they first brought him in over Aaron Ramsdale, I thought, I didn't quite see the uplift in terms of bringing him in. But that save there tells you all you need to know about David Raya. He has been one of the best goalkeepers in Europe the last couple of seasons.
Yeah, because that was when the game was 2-1. That's the difference between a victory and a draw. And those 2 points are what keeps Arsenal top of the table, really. Manchester City still breathing down their necks, 40 points. Then Aston Villa just 1 point behind. There is no breathing room between the top three. And Arsenal and Aston Villa, as you already mentioned, Clinton, go toe-to-toe. Manchester City will be watching that one.
That's a big game. That is a huge game. Listen, I think it'll be like this for most of the season. It's brilliant. We don't want just one team running away with it, unless you're Arsenal, Man City, or Aston Villa. But this is a big game. But I do think Arsenal will be too strong for Aston Villa. I do think that. I think Arsenal will win it. I just thought I'd put it out there, Jules. I know you didn't ask me that, but I think Arsenal will be too strong for that.
Oh, it's a big one. We'll all be looking ahead to that one in one of the last rounds of Premier League action before. Well, I get what he's saying there. There's still a lot of football to be played, but they are contenders, whether he wants to admit it or not. Aston Villa are the form team in the Premier League right now. Look at that, 8 Premier League wins in a row. Yeah,
100%. I know we talk about Arsenal being in the title race, Manchester City, and Villa are right there with those two teams, of course. And with the form that they're showing, 8 wins in a row, I think it's 11 in all competitions.
Yeah.
In all competitions, they are absolutely flying right now. He's got a squad of players there that believe in what he's doing. But what he's done there in a, I wouldn't say a short space of time now, he's been there a couple of years now, is he's transformed them into a team now that can go toe-to-toe with anybody. It's just, can they do it over sustained 38 games? But right now, they are certainly one of the informed teams, not only in the Premier League, but in Europe.
You can understand why he wouldn't want to have any talk of a title race, because his team right now, the way they are playing, if you look at Arsenal and City, the energy is very different at Aston Villa. They are enjoying it. The celebrations with the fans kind of tell you everything. And they're not playing with any pressure, really.
No, they're not. His interview is brilliant. He's not putting pressure on his players. Within inside and in the dressing room, they don't know what they need to do. But when he's asked, and when people are going to interview him and say, are we in the title race? No. If the season was over in a couple of weeks, then, yeah, we are in a title race. But no, that's a fantastic result to go to Chelsea. Because in the first 60 minutes, they were nowhere near it. They didn't turn up. This substitution of Ollie Watkins changed the game. I thought he was fantastic, caused all kinds of problems. But, yeah, big result for Aston Villa. And then they go to Arsenal in midweek, and that's a huge football match.
Yeah, especially considering what happened when they played each other. What was it, just 2 weeks ago?
OK, let's get to it then. The title race dominates a lot of the back pages in the Sunday papers. The Sun on Sunday, thirsty work is the headline after Arsenal's victory over Brighton at the Emirates. John, it is a win, albeit a cagey one. Are they convincing you more or not so much that they're going to end that 22-year wait?
cagey or nervy, Dharmesh? I would say nervy, probably. I do like that back page because it sort of kind of focuses on Martin Odegaard there, who opened up the scoring, didn't he, with that wonderful goal. And I do think Odegaard, I think, is a terrific captain, really respected by his peers and teammates, and the sort of leader for Arteta on the pitch. So I think it was good that he gets his form. But Arsenal missing a few players. 2-0, they're cruising, and you think, oh, this is a good response to earlier in the day. Man City, obviously, a really impressive, hard-fought, ground-out win at sort of Nottingham Forest. And Arsenal have to respond. And you think, wow, OK, they're in the zone here, they're going to do it, and they're going to do it comfortably. And at 2-0, they were putting on the pressure for 3-0, and then suddenly they concede, and then all of a sudden you're feeling the nerves and the tension amongst Arsenal fans. I'm sure you could feel it within the ground. That's what it feels like at the moment. And they've gone from a place, I think, in sort of October, November, when they were winning games for fun and playing ever so well and free-flowing football and relaxing, to a place when they really needed one of the best saves you'll see this season, if not the best, from David Raya to tip it over, to maintain that 2-1 scoreline at the end. Because, wow, I mean, the Sunday Express even lead on the save, a ray of hope. And it really was that good. I mean, it was a remarkable save. But it does talk to some nerves in the Arsenal camp, and they are leaders, and they've got a massive game on Tuesday against Aston Villa. And it just feels as if, yeah, they're feeling the pressure, I think, much more than Man City, who've been there, done it, got the T-shirt. Aston Villa, who seem to be just enjoying the ride, if you like. And Arsenal, the fan expectation, the expectations in the ground, huge summer spending spree, who's, really sort of kind of taking the limelight out of those new signings. There's so much pressure and expectation on Arteta this year to win a trophy. I think he's done a great job at Arsenal overall, but he is expected to win a major trophy this year. All those things coming together, I think, is playing into that feeling of nerves.
Jason, John mentioned it there, the anxiety, the nervousness, the caginess almost. The Sunday Telegraph, they focus on that.
Arteta or the crowd?
Well, exactly. Emirates are awash with anxiety, but Arsenal maintain top spot. Sam Dean, who was at the Emirates Stadium, says in recent weeks, the Emirates Stadium has become one of the most anxious arenas in European football. Arsenal are top of the Premier League and the Champions League, into the semi-finals of the Carabao Cup, but it feels like every home match is a source of maximum stress for the club supporters and the players. Mikel Arteta says it's because of a willingness to win, but is there a fine line between willingness and desperation?
Absolutely, yeah. And I think the desperation is winning at the moment. I think it doesn't take an awful lot for that atmosphere to emerge at the Emirates. I think it even goes back to the dog days of Arsene Wenger. That there was that kind of frustration that took over at times. Obviously, Arteta's moved that on quite a lot. There's much more unity around the ground. But I think that unity has become almost, as you say, that desperation to finally get over the line. This is a team that I think, once they do win the league, can probably go on and and be a very dominant team for quite some time, notwithstanding what obviously Manchester City and Liverpool and others can do. I think the talent is there, the strength is there. I agree with John. I do like Mikel Arteta, although I do think at times he does need to calm down.
With the dual aim of revenge and creating clearer daylight at the top of the Premier League summit, leaders Arsenal welcome third-placed Aston Villa for matchday 19's high-profile clash at the Emirates Stadium on Tuesday. The Gunners face the same opposition that handed them their most recent defeat, with the Villans snatching a 2-1 victory with the final kick of the game in the reverse fixture in Birmingham. Since that setback, Arsenal have gone 5 games unbeaten across all competitions, including victories in all 3 league matches during that run, most recently grinding out a 2-1 success over Brighton and Hove Albion on Saturday. That win allowed Arsenal to return to the summit after Manchester City's short-lived move to the top earlier in the matchday, and another success on Tuesday would stretch their lead over Villa to 6 points, while potentially opening a 5-point gap ahead of City. Here, Sports Mole rounds up Arsenal's latest injury and suspension news ahead of their meeting with Villa, who secured a comeback 2-1 win away at Chelsea over the weekend. Jurrien Timber is another recent concern, having landed awkwardly during Arsenal's EFL Cup penalty shootout victory earlier in the week. Although he was involved at the weekend, the defender will still need to be assessed ahead of kickoff to confirm whether he is fit to feature. Ben White picked up a hamstring issue during Arsenal's win over Wolverhampton Wanderers in mid-December and is expected to remain sidelined until around the middle of January. Teenage prospect Max Dowman suffered ankle ligament damage during an under-21s friendly earlier this month, with the 15-year-old facing several weeks on the sidelines as he works towards full fitness. Christian Mosquinero was forced off during Arsenal's clash with Brentford on December 3rd after sustaining an ankle injury and is not expected to return until mid-January. Ricardo Calafiori was withdrawn during the warm-up ahead of the Brighton match after feeling discomfort following a training session the previous day. The Italian defender will need to pass a late fitness test to determine his availability, leaving him a major doubt for Tuesday. After spending close to 4 months recovering from a knee injury, Kai Havertz has returned to full training and narrowly missed out on the matchday squad last weekend. Arteta has suggested that his comeback is a matter of days, meaning a return on Tuesday is possible, although his involvement is yet to be confirmed.